When speaking about the founding of America, your average citizen and historian alike usually go to names like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. But these men, while deserving of the title of founding fathers, built upon a framework that was already put in place. The Puritan migration brought not only people, but concepts, ideas, and precepts that would direct the order of their public and private lives in the colonies. And their prolific writing about and staunch adherence to those beliefs were part of what paved the way for democracy in America. The Puritan leadership, epitomized in John Winthrop, understood the gravity of their choices. Winthrop's choice of metaphor for the colony as a city on a hill came from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount as recorded in the book of Matthew. As Cohen states in his article on the Mathers, they felt the world's eyes not because they deigned to deem themselves models for the universe, but because they felt that failure would earn them humanity's opprobrium. This desire to please the Lord and the burden of the responsibility that came with it was clearly understood by this group of people. At the basis of Puritan thought and belief was the Word of God. As a body of believers, Puritans had a strong sense of covenantal faith that drove their behavior based on their understandings of the blessings and curses of covenant. The Bible was their source book and provided not only a way to know and understand God more deeply, but provided practical and important guidelines for healthy, holy living. As Reformed Christians, Puritans not only wanted to ensure their salvation, but wanted to establish God's kingdom on earth by living transformed lives, and they saw it as their duty to do so. Consequently, their commitment to the Word of God led them to incorporate it in every part of their daily lives and to establish a moral code that would guide these daily choices. This is especially evident in their government. The Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, adopted in 1639, is generally considered the first written constitution in America. It is a Puritan document that clearly states the desire to order the civil government according to biblical principles. This document was more democratic in nature, but similar to the form of government adopted by the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and it is viewed as a foundational document to our democratic order. The 1641 Massachusetts Body of Liberties may be one of the most astounding contributions of the Puritans to our American way of life. As one of the earliest protections of individual rights, a large portion of our cherished Bill of Rights can be traced back to this document. With so many people demanding their rights today, one wonders what their response would be if they knew they owe a debt of gratitude to the Puritans who first enumerated them for posterity. Beyond the establishment of government, the French historian and diplomat Alexis de Tocqueville, who considered the Puritans as Americans' founders, held that character was more vital than even the best written constitution to the maintenance of freedom. Healthy mores can support freedom in the absence of a decent constitution, he believed. But no constitution, no matter how well designed, can sustain freedom among a people whose character is degraded. The biblical ordering of the Puritans' lives allowed for the maintenance of liberty. Because of the priority Puritans placed on the scriptures and their adherence to Reformation concepts such as sola scriptura, it followed that it was of great importance that everyone could read the Bible for themselves. This belief led to a strong foundation for education that would lead to things like the old Deluder-Satan Act that required towns with a determined size to establish schools for local children, the publication of the New England Primer, and the establishment of America's first college, Harvard, whose purpose was to train ministers for the furtherance of the gospel. Puritans laid the foundation for a literate society. The Puritans believed that everything they did was to be for the glory of God and the furtherance of his kingdom. This idea took shape in what we refer to as the Puritan work ethic, which exhibits itself in hard work because we offer nothing less than our best to God, discipline because we need it to maintain a righteous life, and frugality because we are stewards of all that God has given us. It is unfortunate that the American work ethic is often confused and results in workaholics to the glory of self. The original intent was for the glory of God. We owe a great debt to the people who have unfortunately become a byword in current American history. Perhaps it would be even better said that we owe an unfathomable debt of gratitude to the God they served.